What's up guys, it's Caleb with VD Labs here. Today I'm going to show you guys how to install our center grab handle wrap kit. This kit will change the color of the grab handle from the factory color that it comes in, either gray, blue, I guess red now. I figured I needed to make a video and show some people how to actually install this because it can be actually kind of difficult and tricky. So let's get into it. Alright guys, so the first thing you're going to need is a T30 Torque. You actually get one of these in the Bronco kit, toolkit that you got with your Bronco. I'm just using this because it's a little bit easier. So you just want to come in, take out these screws that hold this grab handle on. Now we have the grab handle, we're going to take it out and go to a working table to actually apply the graphic. Alright guys, so in the kit you're going to get 2 of these. You also get 2 of the outer grab handles. So every kit we sell, basically you get 2 of everything in case you mess up during the installation. So this right here will actually come cut out a little bit differently. It's no big deal. So the first thing you want to do is you want to find these screws on the back of the handle. Alright, so you need a T10 Torque. All you need to do is take these screws out. I got this screwdriver kit at Harbor Freight for probably less than $7 or $8. It actually comes in handy for a lot of things on the Bronco. Alright, so once you have all these screws taken out, lift it up, lay your screws somewhere where you won't lose them. So I like to start with the hardest section. That's just my personal preference. If you're not comfortable with that, go ahead and start with this side. You can skip ahead and come back, I guess. But first things first, clean it. I'm going to use some alcohol. Dawn dish soap will work great, but you need to clean these. You have to clean these, especially if they've been getting touched by a lot of hands, oil, grease from your hands build up on it, or if you get your car detailed or detail it yourself and you clean the interior and you put some type of dressing on this, these decals are not going to stick unless it's clean. So I really try to stress cleaning the best you can. These I've already cleaned, so I'm just going to do a quick wipe, but you really need to scrub these down and get them as clean as you possibly can. Alright, so now we have this peeled off the decal. So we're going to start by just trying to get it lined up right here in this curve. That's where I like to start. And it's kind of hard to see here. You can zoom in a little bit on it. But this is very tedious, very tricky. You need to have some patience to do this. Not necessarily steady hands, because I have very unsteady hands actually. So I wouldn't say you gotta have steady hands, you just need some patience. And I did run that up on that rubber a little bit there, but I think it might turn out okay. Now we do this and it fills this gap and it is about perfect. The only thing is, if you get a little off one way or the other, you will overlap on that rubber piece. But right here is probably the trickiest part of this entire install. As you can see, it looks like it doesn't line up right. And we designed it this way because if we didn't, you would get a crease right here and it would look terrible. So we designed it, we found out that if you stretch this vinyl just a little bit and stretch it over by using that rubber as like the curve. Alright, so one thing you can do to help this process of stretching, because it's not wanting to stretch right now for me, is I'll just bring out a heat gun. You can use a hair dryer, heat gun, whatever you'd like. Just hit it with some heat. And if you notice there, it just wraps right around. You don't want to overdo it. Now you got to be extra careful too here. Once it's heated up, this can tear very easily. And I'm going down and working it to the edges. All it needed was a little bit of heat. And these will wrap around. These edges will be hidden, so don't worry as much on, you can crease the crap out of them to be honest, and it's not going to hurt nothing because it will all be hidden once it's all the way installed. So now you want to start right here and go and just work it in best you can. And if you got something like this, could work great to get those edges to lay down. Maybe a credit card would work as well. Okay, now we have that done and we get to do this. So what I like to do is I line it up with that rubber edge the best I can. Just make sure we don't leave any orange. Okay, now as you can see, it looks like if you went to rub that down right now flat, it's probably going to crease. So I'm going to hit it with some heat. And from there, we got to do the same thing here that we did on the other side of it by stretching it, keeping it down off that lip. And by pulling it tight and like this motion, it helps to pull the vinyl flat and you won't get any creasing. As you can see, there might be some creasing down this way, but we'll get to that as we do. So now I'm going to lift the whole decal. Get that back aligned. Need some more heat. As long as you go slow and patient, it's really not that difficult. Just go slow, don't try to keep these creasing. Try to keep it from creasing. And you could overstretch this vinyl, and that's okay, because it's a solid color, it doesn't matter that much. That's probably what I'm going to have to do here to get this crease out. Just be gentle as you do it. And all I'm doing is this motion, I'm kind of pulling on the vinyl. I'm not really pulling on it, but I'm pushing it down with my finger. The pressure is what activates the adhesive. Now I'm just working it in with my finger, trying to keep it from creasing. Now, as you can see, looks like we're getting some pretty good results here now. I'm just going along, pushing this edge down. And as you can see, we did end up overstretching it a little bit here. So all you gotta do is just wrap this around the edge. And don't cut this piece off yet. Wait until we go to put and assemble everything back. Alright guys, so what you want to do is you want to lay this out. Get it just kind of where you want to get it. What I like to do is I like to find a corner, start on that corner, and then just try to keep it right up against that rubber edge. Not getting a good... This is, like I said, it's very tedious. Don't let that scare you. It's really not that hard. It's just tedious. Oh no. So, there we go. And I'm going to work back up with it. And as you see, I'm just working it along the rubber here. This side right here can sometimes give you trouble if you don't get it all aligned over here. So you can go ahead and try to get it lined up here. And all I'm doing, like I said, just trying to keep it aligned with this rubber. And like I said it would probably give me trouble over here, and it did, of course. So now we have it lined up with the rubber, maybe a little too much there. Pull it out, tack it down. All you gotta do is pull this out just a little bit. This is designed to stretch a little bit, so that way you get the best looking finish. Okay, now that we have it all basically where we want these to be, remember, it's not really stuck down very well yet, but we're going to use a heat source. Make sure if you're using a hairdryer, you're probably safe, but if you're using a heat gun, don't use too much heat and don't use a fan, because I've already messed one up tonight by using too much heat. Now that just makes all of that just a little bit more malleable, as you can see. And all I'm doing is I'm pulling out to these edges, wrapping it around the edge. Make sure we got a good, nice tack. We don't have any bubbles up here near the rubber. And this is going to be an issue here, but we can fix that by lifting it all up and kind of very easily pulling it. Okay, so we're making progress here. Now just wrap these edges. And as you can see, I'm doing a pulling with my thumb. It's like this. So that way you don't get any creases. And you might get this side perfect, and then you get over here and start doing this. You could overstretch it. There's a number of things that could happen, and then you're gonna have to come back and fix this side. As you can see, I just had to do that. I'm gonna take this, a credit card or anything like a credit card would probably work just fine in here, but this tool seems to work perfect for this, so I'm gonna use it. And you just wanna kind of push it on them edges, get them edges to stick down. Have that wrapped. And right here, we're gonna have to do a little more pulling. Now we got it off that edge. And if you, as you can see right there, I had a crease, right? So all I did was I started pulling it out and away from the crease, but also pulling it to where it's acceptable for it to crease around these edges, because they'll be hidden. And it won't affect it because it'd be so tight. It won't cause it to peel later on. So now I'm gonna hit this bottom edge with a little bit of heat. I'm gonna just take my finger, wrap that around the edges. I might hit this with a little more heat. I might be overdoing it a little bit with the heat, but
now I'm just trying to get this edge to lay down.
and as you can see, this side it has been finished. Okay, now you have both the pieces here, so we need to put them back together. It's just as simple as how we took them apart, but there's gonna be a little bit of extra here. So what you wanna do is you wanna make sure that these creases are wrapped around these edges, so when you stick it together here, it will look seamless. So a good way to do that is use either a credit card or something like a credit card, I guess. Tuck these edges in as you stick it together. I don't know. Okay, so now I have these edges tucked in. Make sure that's in focus. I don't know how well you can see it, but I have the edges tucked in. We want to come over here to this side, make sure this side gets tucked in as well. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of heat and then just push them in. Check your edges again, lay it down, put all the screws back. All right, so I'm just gonna take something pointy, lay it in there. Make sure you push it over to the edges, because this is a very tight but perfect fit. And once you get it laid in there, maybe if you get a small enough finger, you can stick it in there. Get it all lay flat. And you're gonna wanna do that for both of them here. I'm gonna do it with my finger just to show you that it is possible. You don't need something pointy, but it helps to lick your finger just so it won't stick to it. And you just throw it in there, push it down. And before we install this back into the Bronco, I'm gonna hit it with a little bit more heat here, just to make sure these edges are nice and clean. Alright, so we're gonna hop back in the Bronco. I'm gonna show you guys how to put this thing back. Alright guys, so we got it. We're gonna stick it back in the Bronco here. All you gotta do, put it back, put the bolts back in. Oh. And as you can see, zoom in here, looks pretty freaking good.